When you're not able to use your words or your voice to articulate what's available, you're doing people a disservice. We're going to give you a crash course on how to speak powerfully about the brilliant work you do. This is the new marketing. Hello and welcome to Music Industry City's New Thoughts, where we discuss fresh ideas and take a look at the industry from a different perspective. I'm Peter Schwing, and joining me today is my fellow co-host, Stephanie Carl. And if there's something you'd like to chime in about, join us in the chat or leave a comment below. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are and if you want to join the conversation. And stick around to the end of the show where we answer all questions from the audience. So what we do is kind of wrap up the segment. That's what goes back up on YouTube. And then we roll the post credits and we magically reappear. So this week, Soulful aligned marketing. This is going to be a crash course for artists. When you're not able to use your words to articulate what's available for your people when they work with you. So the magic you provide, you're doing people a disservice. Let's talk about how to really speak powerfully about the brilliant work you do. And to talk more about this, let's check in with Stephanie Carlin. Stephanie, hey.
Hey, Peter.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. I have a little winter wonderland going on down here. How's it up north?
I call it more like a shit show. I don't think it's a wonderland. It feels like I'm in a prison in my own house because all the roads are icy and slippery. But yeah, Wonderland works too. I'm sure most people prefer that.
It's like, I was thinking like going, you know something, this would be amazing to go hiking up in the mountains in this. And then I'm like, and it would also be really dangerous.
I went walking with a friend of mine in the music industry yesterday on a flat road. And couldn't even walk because there was so much ice and sleet. And yeah, I got really pissed about that. I couldn't even walk on like a flat road. So, but you like hiking. You like doing stuff like that. And I get scared.
Oh, sometimes it can be scary because like sometimes I like to do stupid things like, hey, there's something way over there that's not on any trail. Let's go.
Yeah, good idea when there's just like pure ice on the ground.
Exactly. So, but to describe it, like when you do something like that, and you're with a team and you're leading your expedition team, it's important to use your words to articulate what you are going to accomplish and getting the team ready to jump in. You see how I found a segue in there?
Solid bridge to our topic of discussion today.
So I know you got a lot to say. So do you want the big screen?
Sure. All
right.
Okay.
We'll give it to you. All right. Take it away.
So did you know that you only need 1,000 people to pay you $83 a month for 12 months to gross $1 million in your business? So when you look at the numbers of running a 7-figure business, they're actually very straightforward. And for however many people you're selling to, they are dying for you to be unapologetically yourself. Why else support an artist? Nobody really wants to support a vanilla artist. They want the real you. They don't want someone who's censored or stifled or just kind of awkward or uncomfortable being themselves. But, when you're on the precipice of selling your baby, your soul, your music, yourself on the big bad internet, it becomes so easy to stifle yourself in service of your marketing plan, in service of what's trendy or what's popular. Then add in being a slave to Spotify's algorithm or your YouTube or your TikTok or whichever platform of enslavement is your poison, and you stop being unapologetically yourself. Maybe you even start becoming a slave to the algorithm, getting those likes. But when you're honest with yourself, it will never be a numbers game. Not for you. The truth of who you are is, am I in service in the moment? And this is where the internal conflict might come in with social media, because we are not just our numbers, but our hormones have been trained like Pavlov's dog to salivate at every like, click, reshare we get. And we're not our numbers still. Plus, all these platforms could go away in a second, right? Apple is waging little wars on Facebook right now. That's the latest. We have no control over these platforms. On a spiritual level, numbers don't matter at all. It's always what are we bringing in vibrationally? Are you being in service in the moment, or are you chasing the latest trends, trying to get some likes? I'm sick of seeing artists chasing the cool kids. I'm sick of seeing us run around chasing every cool trend that's out there, which is a distraction to doing your highest work. And Seth Godin pointed out in one of his brilliant mailers the other day that statistically, whatever you build online isn't going to get a lot of traffic. He posted this awesome image where he showed the amount of downloads that the median podcast gets per month, and it's 124 downloads. So we have to face the facts. Whatever you build online may not get a lot of traffic. And there's an obvious alternative to chasing the cool kids. And it's the ugly work, which is to ship your work and publish, be consistent and be patient and show up and contribute and stop degrading yourself to your number of likes and follows as if that means anything about your existence. Focus on your income and your impact. Respect that a transformation happens when you make a financial transaction with someone. And if you can cultivate a culture of respect that equates to 1,000 people paying you $83 a month for 12 months, you've cultivated $1 million business and a community that cherishes your work. So how would you have to speak about your art to create that kind of income and impact? You'd probably have to step up and lead and start speaking to your fans' truest desires instead of asking them to do you a favor and like and subscribe. And stop being humble about the power of your work and start owning your potency. I'll bet that the transformation you take your people through is nothing short of awe-inspiring at the core. And it has to do with being unapologetically yourself, being grounded in who you serve and how you serve them, and trusting yourself to do that beyond any specific platform. Because you're here to lead, you're here to be of service and provide a transformation through the transaction of money, with patience, with consistency, without a petulant demand for going viral yesterday. Because you're here to lead, you're here to awaken, you're here to inspire. And, that's what I think about that, Peter. I want everyone to get a little closer to that in today's conversation.
There are so many great points in there, and starting off with the being yourself and authenticity. And we hear this so often, and it's, getting beaten to people's skulls, but nobody's taking the synapses and attaching it or something like that. It's it's in there, but nobody's saying okay, now I need to actually attach it. It's there's the gas pump and we have the gas and we have the fuel, but nobody's taking it and putting it into the car. So when I say nobody, I'm not saying nobody, but I'm saying a lot of people are just listening to the dopamine shot of, oh, this is what I need to do. I just need to be myself. But then they go and not be themselves. And they're trying to say, the one thing about authenticity, and I'm going to tie this into when you're talking about chasing likes and follows. And, a marketing person is going to say to you when they hear that, yeah, but you need to have a call to action. So if you're trying to build an audience, they're going to say, like, subscribe. But there's a difference, and the audience can tell when somebody's being authentic and they say, hey, just follow, hit the follow button, hit you like, whatever, follow us. If you want, we can hang out more or something like that, as opposed to somebody that's saying, hey, make sure you hit that like button, follow me, follow me, follow me. It's you can tell when there's a call to action that's really just being authentic, as opposed to somebody just saying, I need more likes.
And that's great. And the ugly work I'm talking about is how our metrics, our likes, our engagement is a result of the really fucking good work we do, and not the other way around, to not avoid doing the ugly work of publishing and shipping consistently and with authenticity, which again is a fucking vague hashtag out there. And few people, as you are referring to, are really doing the work to look at what stops us from being authentic. That's what this time of COVID is for me and for many other people, is who am I? I'm being forced to go inside, being forced to go insular and discover who I am and what it is I stand for. And I'd assert that a lot of other artists and folks in the music industry listening are feeling the same way as we round the year anniversary of COVID. It takes courage and bravery to know who you are, let alone speak it out to the ethers.
Right. And a lot of people that have moved over into live streaming, a lot of artists that have moved over to live streaming, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, whatever the platform, or they're doing shorts, they're doing content for Instagram, TikTok, whatever the application of the week is. I'm listening to conversations over on Clubhouse, and some of it's like there's the crew that's like, well, we shouldn't make our artists do that. Like from managers, like, well, no, you shouldn't make your artists do anything if you're managing. It is the artist's choice. But it's also the manager to help guide them to, well, if this is something you want to do, I'm not going to stop you, but how do we do this properly? Because, managers, it's also their career as well in that sense. So for being, people that are saying, I'm getting on Twitch, they're learning quickly that when you live stream, it's not about putting on a concert. It's the audience wants to see you, wants to engage with you as a person. So you could perform music and it's okay to make mistakes. And they want that engagement, and it's okay. Like a lot of artists fall into the trap of saying it needs to be perfect. And I need to have this mix perfect before I release it. I need to have my video perfect. I need to do a stage performance perfect. And it's not about that. It's the cracks and the flaws that are actually what make it unique.
It's what makes it authentic.
Ding.
The willingness to fail on your face in public and trust that you might not be hated for it and maybe even loved for it.
I was in a room on Clubhouse, and I'm still like on the fence of what's going on in Clubhouse. And I was in a room, and it was some of those people like, oh, I'm an empowerer, I will help you. But it was a small community, and I've actually gotten to know some of these people and listening to them, like the smaller community. So here's another thing, tying in the likes and follows and things. There's these Clubhouse rooms that so-and-so gets in there and they have 20,000 or 50,000 followers already on Clubhouse, and they get in, their room has 1,000 people. And yeah, well, they've already made money or they've done whatever they've done in real life. And they are just like, the Tony Robbins, like not that level, because that's just a completely different level, but they are, and they do give valuable information. But when you get into these smaller rooms and you start finding that community, there are like some really amazing people, and they have 500 followers and the room has 20 people in it. And then you find that connection there, you have the opportunity to engage with them, because if you raise your hand, they'll bring you up on stage, and then they start to know you. And now what you're doing is you're building the world around you with this community of great people that they don't necessarily have the thousands and thousands of followers, but guess what happens when you all work together? You all rise together.
I love that.
And there was one thing to say going on this was, I was brought up they were talking about laughing at yourself, being able to laugh at yourself. And this goes back to your mistakes. And if you look at any of my talks, when I started doing this from like a year ago, and you would see me and I would just stumble over a sentence, my brain just would like redline. Or if I said the same word in the same sentence, I just said sentence twice in two sentences, and you see what else, like my brain just goes into overload. And it stumbled. I would stumble upon myself, and then it was a block. I couldn't get through to the next sentence. And then I started laughing at myself. And you'll see,
I want a sizzle reel so bad of that. I want us to be able to cut to a sizzle reel of like 9 times of you doing that, just so we can all have a good laugh. And like this program is such a reflection of that. We've been doing this for a year.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Look what you built on the court, being willing to fail in public, grow up in public, deal with it on the court. Powerful.
And that's exactly what I was getting at, is like, so there's somebody else like in that room that I know, and she was posting an Instagram and she was talking about and I just took this out of the Oh wait, what's that thing that you wash the dishwasher? Yeah, that's like, and I sent her a direct message. I'm like, yeah, the dishwasher, the thing where you wash, and we had a great laugh because she was like, you know, something, it doesn't matter in the end. Everybody got a little chuckle out of that because we've all done it. That's what you have to remember is we've all stumbled over something. We all forgot a word. We all forgot what we were talking about mid-sentence. It happens to all of us, and that's the authenticity.
And what a disservice it would be to your community if you allowed any of that to thwart you and stop you and have you go, gee, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. What a disservice. I think about that with every leader that inspires me. Like, what if one of their failures had thwarted them and they decided not to do whatever it took to share the information that then changed my life? Mm-hmm. That's why I have so much awe and respect for creators and leaders.
That's what it's about. All right, final thoughts before we close out the segment, and then we're going to come back. But final thoughts for the creators out there for the rest of the week.
Final thought, fail in public at least 3 times this week. Give yourself the room to hear no 70% of the time instead of reacting to no as if it's a heartache or an outrage. And then watch how you can kind of start asking for anything.
Right on. All right. Thank you, Steph. That is it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to continue the conversation, we're going to be coming right back after we roll the post credits. If you find this interesting, we kind of said hit that subscribe button. We were talking about that, but if you do find it interesting, hit the like button, all that kind of stuff, whatever your platform you're on. You can also find us at musicindustrycity.com and on your preferred podcast player. Thanks again to my co-host, Stephanie Carlin. Have an awesome day. Peace.